Good morning, class. I'm Mrs. Daphne de la Cruz Malait, your teacher in Fish Culture Grade 9 for today, February 18, 2022. Is everybody present? Very good. For our class norms, always wear your face mask and observe physical distancing. You can also raise your hands whenever you have questions or clarifications about the lesson. Let's have a review of our previous lesson. For those who have cell phones and internet connection, you can open the link which I already sent in our group chat. For those who do not have cell phones, you can answer the questions as it flashes on the board. I will give you 10 seconds for each question. Are you ready? Okay, you can start now. The first question is, which of the following compartments is used to rear fry to fingerling size? The options are brood pan, nursery pan, rearing pan, transition pan. If you answered nursery pan, you are correct. The second question is, what compartment is used to culture fingerlings to marketable size fish? The options are feed pan, nursery pan, rearing pan, transition pan. If you answered rearing pan, you are correct. Which compartment is used to acclimatize the fingerlings? The options are brood pan, head pan, nursery pan, transition pan. If your answer is transition pan, you are right. The fourth question is, what controls the water in the whole fish pan? The options are main dike, main gate, secondary dike, secondary gate. If you answered main gate, you are correct. The last question is, which of the following surrounds the entire pond system? The options are main dike, secondary dike, tertiary dike, water supply canal. If your answer is main dike, you are correct. I'm glad that you are still familiar with those compartments and accessory units of a fish pond because it has something to do with our lesson for today. Now, let's move on to the new words to ponder in preparation for our next lesson. Are you familiar with these words? The salvage zone. What is a salvage zone? Under Article 51 of the Presidential Decree Number 1067, otherwise known as the Water Code of the Philippines, salvage zone is defined as the zone of 3 meters in urban areas, 20 meters in agricultural areas, and 40 meters in forest areas along their margins, subject to the easement of public use in the interest of recreation, navigation, floatage, fishing, and salvage. So no person shall be allowed to stay in this zone longer than what is necessary for recreation, navigation, floatage, fishing, or salvage, or to build structures of any kind. That's why fish ponds are constructed 20 meters away from the source of water, like rivers, to protect our natural resources. Do you understand? Very good. Take a look at this figure. Do you think we can draw this figure in a regular bond paper with the given dimension 20 meters by 15 meters? Yes or no? Definitely, the answer is no, because the size of a regular bond paper is only 8.5 inches by 11 inches. So, hindi kakasya sa isang bond paper ang 20 meters by 15 meters dimension. That's why we are using scale for drawing. Now, what is a scale? Scale is a series or system of items of increasing or decreasing size, value, and others. When we say series of system in mathematics, we can relate it to measurement. Nabanggit dito yung increasing and decreasing size, value, and others. Anong kinalaman ng scale sa measurement? Dito papasok ang next definition of scale. Scale is the ratio of the distance on the map or drawing and the distance on the ground. So, ratio. Ito yung ginagamit nating measure sa pagguhit ng mapa sa papel gamit ang mga units na kagaya ng centimeters or inches. Katumbas nito ang totoong distansya sa lupa. Ngayon itatanong nyo, bakit po? Kasi yung malalayong distansya or malalaking sukat ay hindi magkakasya sa isang papel or sa isang bond paper na may sukat na 8.5 inches by 11 inches lamang. Example, kung iguguhit natin sa papel yung lokasyon ng Law of Proper to Barangay Agkawayan, gaano ito kalayo? Let's say 3 to 5 kilometers. Paano ito magkakasya sa isang bond paper? So, gagamit tayo ng scale. Now, mas maiintindihan natin ito sa ating sunod na example. Okay, let's try this problem. What is the equivalent measurement of 500 meters in centimeter if the scale is 1 centimeter is to 10 meters? The options: A, 5 centimeters, B, 25 centimeters, C, 50 centimeters, and D, 100 centimeters. You can guess or you can choose your answer. Now, let us see if you get the correct answer. So, the ratio is 1 centimeter is to 10 meters. We are going to find out how many centimeters in 500 meters. Applying the principles of ratio, we are going to multiply the outer and also the inner. So, 1 times 500 equals 10 times x. So, 1 times 500 is 500 equals 10 times x is 10x. Now, to get the value of x, divide them by 10. 500 divided by 10 equals 10x divided by 10. So, the answer is 50. For 500 divided by 10 is 50 equals x. Because 10x divided by 10 equals 1x or x. So, 500 meters is to 50 cm or 50 cm is to 500 meters. Understood? So, let us make things easier. Pwede tayong gumamit ng e-calculator soup para mas madali nating makompute ang mga dimensions using the scale. So, mayroon akong hiwalay na video na isisend ko sa inyo ang link upang inyong mapag-aralan. That is the so-called e-calculator soup. Now that you are equipped with the necessary skills needed, we can now proceed to our lesson. Drawing the layout plan of a modular fishpond system. Our objectives for today are: compute for the allocated area of every compartment and accessories of a modular fish pond, and draw a layout plan of a modular fish pond system into scale. What is a modular pond system? A modular pond system is composed of nursery pond, transition pond, rearing pond, and the water supply canal. Okay, let's play a game first. I-aura mo, Besh. Alam ko, familiar kayo sa larong ito. So, sa i-aura mo, Besh, ito yung magiging possible answers ninyo. But remember, the TPA stands for the total production area. So, if ang sagot mo ay 6% of the TPA, ito yung magiging actions nyo. Kung 2% of the TPA, taas natin yung dalawang kamay. If 4% of the TPA, ganito naman ang magiging action. At kung 88% of the TPA, ito naman siya. So, are you ready? Let's start the game. So, I will give you 5 seconds para maipakita nyo ang inyong sagot. Ready? I-aura mo ang kanal. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ito ang tamang sagot. Nakataas ang dalawang kamay. O, sigurado, maraming nagkamali. Pero okay lang yan. Laro lamang ito. Next, i-aura mo ang rearing pond. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yan ang dapat na maging sagot mo. Ang rearing pond ay 88% of the TPA. O, di ba masaya? Next, i-aura mo ang nursery pond at the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yan ang nursery pond, 4% of the TPA. Very good sa mga nakatama ang sagot. I-aura mo ang transition pond. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's right. The answer is 6% of the TPA. I hope you enjoyed the game. And what is it? Para saan ba yung inyong mga actions? Para saan yung mga ginawa ninyo kani-kanina lamang? So, lahat ng mga isinagot nyo kanina sa ating laro ay bahagi ng modular pond system. So, this is the total production area of the fish pond. This is the water supply canal or canal which is 2% of the total production area. The transition pond is only 6% of the total production area and it is divided into 2 compartments. The nursery pond is 4% of the total production area and divided into 3 compartments. The rearing pond is 88% of the TPA. This is divided into 2, the upper PPS and the lower PPS. The upper PPS is divided also in 3 compartments, PPS 1, PPS 2, and PPS 3. PPS 1 is 1 part of the total area of the upper PPS. PPS 2 is 2 parts, and PPS 3 is 4 parts of the total area of the upper PPS. Now, the lower PPS is divided into 3 compartments also. PPS 1, PPS 2, and PPS 3. PPS 1 is 1 part of the total area of the lower production process stages, and PPS 2 is 3 parts, and the PPS 3 is 9 parts of the total area of the lower production process stages. Do you have any question about these parts? So, transition pond, nursery pond, and upper PPS and the lower PPS. Okay, let's try. Get ready with your calculator, pencil, bond paper, and ruler. And also your information sheet. Did you study the information sheet that I gave you yesterday? Okay, you will use that for today's lesson. So this is what we are going to do. You're going to lay out a modular pond system with a length of 20 meters and width of 15 meters. The area of the pond is 300 square meters. Compute for the area of different compartments and accessories of the pond based on the given specifications below, and draw a layout plan of the modular pond system with a scale of 1 centimeter is to 1 meter. So this is included in your information sheet, and we will discuss this step by step. Are you ready? Okay. So for step 1, you will draw a rectangle according to the given dimension of the modular fish pond. So the length is 20 meters, width is 15 meters, and the area is 300 square meters. Since the scale is 1 centimeter is to 1 meter, so 20 meters is equal to 20 centimeters. 15 meters is equal to 15 centimeters, and the 300 square meters is equivalent to 300 square centimeters. So dito, pwede na nating hindi gamitin si e-calculator soup kasi ang scale niya ay 1 centimeter is 1 meter. Pero kung iba yung magiging scale, pwede nating magamit si e-calculator soup. Okay, so this is the length of the fish pond, 20 centimeters. And this is the width, 15 centimeters. So, tingnan nyo kung bakit mahalaga na gumamit tayo ng scale. Centimeters, hindi talaga siya kakasya. Posible siyang makasya sa isang regular size bond paper. So, ngayon, dahil gumamit tayo ng scale na 1 centimeter is to 1 meter, magiging 20 centimeters na lamang si 20 meters at magiging 15 centimeters si 15 meters. For step 2, we are going to draw the water supply canal and find its area and dimension. So the area of canal is only 2% of the total production area. So 300 square centimeters times 2% is 6 square centimeters. So ito ngayon yung area ng ating canal. Dito natin siya ilalagay. And then, the length of this canal should be more than half of the length of the fish pond. So bakit kailangan mahigit sa kalahati? Ito ay para masuplayan ng ating kanal ang lahat ng compartments ng fish pond. So, dito ang ginamit natin ay 15 centimeters. Now, to get the width of canal, we have to divide the area with the length. So, 6 square centimeters divided by 15 centimeters, the answer is 0.4 centimeter. So, ito ngayon yung width ng ating canal, 0.4 centimeter. For step 3, draw the transition pond. Find its area and its dimension. So the area of the transition pond is only 6% of the total production area. So 300 square centimeters multiplied by 6% is 18 square centimeters. Now, to get the length of this TPA, so the TPA is located here. To get its length, divide the width of the whole fish pond by 2 minus the width of canal, which is to be divided also by 2. So, 15 is the width of the whole fish pond divided by 2 minus 0.4 divided by 2. The answer is 7.5 minus 0.2 equals 7.3 centimeters. So, the length of the transition pond is 7.3 centimeters. Yan. So, meron tayong dalawang compartment ng transition pond. Now, paano naman natin makukuha yung width ng transition pond? Madali lang yan. Width of the transition pond equals area divided by length. So, the area of the transition pond is 18 square centimeters divided by 7.3 centimeters. And so, the width of the transition pond is 2.47 centimeters. Do you have any question? You can raise your hands if you have questions. In step 4, we're going to draw the nursery pond. Find its area and dimension. So the area of nursery pond is only 4% of the total production area. So 300 square centimeters times 4% is 12 square centimeters. So dito natin siya ilalagay sa katabi ng ating transition pond, and its area is 12 square centimeters. Now, the length of the nursery pond is the same with the length of the transition pond, which is 7.3. So, divide natin yung 7.3 by 3 para makuha natin yung sukat ng bawat compartment. So, this is 2.43, 2.43 plus 2.43 equals 7.3 centimeters. Now, paano naman natin makukuha itong width ng nursery pond? So, again, the formula is area divided by the length. So, the area of the nursery pond is 12 square centimeters and the length is 7.3 centimeters. So, the width of the nursery pond is 1.64 centimeters. Ayan, ito na siya. Ito yung length ng nursery pond, ito yung width ng nursery pond. Reminder, if you have questions, you can raise your hands. So, let's proceed to step 5. Draw the upper production process stages or PPS and find its area and its dimension. So, the area of the rearing pond is 88% of the TPA. The length of the upper PPS is equal to the length of the modular fish pond minus the sum of the width of the transition pond and the width of the nursery pond. If you can still remember, the length of the modular fish pond is 20 centimeters minus the sum of 2.47 centimeters and 1.64 centimeters. And the answer is 15.89 centimeters. Now, the width of the upper PPS is equal to the length of the transition pond and the length of the nursery pond, which is 7.3 centimeters. To get the area of the upper PPS, we're going to multiply the length and the width. So, 15.89 centimeters times 7.3 centimeters is equal to 116 square centimeters. Now, for the ratio of the upper PPS, which is 1:2:4, we are going to get the area of upper PPS per unit by dividing 116 square centimeters by 7. And so, the answer is 16.57 square centimeters. That is the area of upper PPS per unit. And so, the area of upper PPS1 is 16.57 square centimeters. The length of upper PPS1 is equal to the width of the upper PPS, which is 7.3 centimeters. Now, to get the width of upper PPS1, divide the area by length. So, 16.57 square centimeters divided by 7.3 centimeters equals 2.27 centimeters. So, pag nilayout natin, itong ating sagot sa computation kanina na 2.27 centimeters, dito siya mapupunta. Siya yung magiging lapad ng ating PPS1. The length is 7.3 centimeters and the width is 2.27 centimeters. So let's compute for the area and width of the PPS2. So kanina, per unit natin is 16.57 square centimeters. Since PPS2 is 2 parts of the total area of the upper PPS, it should be multiplied by 2 and the answer is 33.14 square centimeters. Now, the length of the upper PPS2 is equal to the width of the upper PPS, which is 7.3 centimeters. So, to get the width of the upper PPS2, divide 33.14 square centimeters by 7.3 centimeters. And the answer is 4.54 centimeters. So, kung i-layout natin si PPS2, katabi siya ni PPS1. So, the length is 7.3 and the width is 4.54 centimeters. To get the area of the upper PPS3, multiply 16.57 square centimeters by 4. And the answer is 66.29 square centimeters. The width of the upper PPS3 is equal to the width of the upper PPS, which is 7.3 centimeters. Now, to find the length of the upper PPS3, divide the area by the width, and the answer is 9.08 centimeters. For the layout of the PPS3, so we have the length 9.08 centimeters and the width 7.3 centimeters. So, kumpleto na yung ating upper PPS. PPS1, PPS2, and PPS3. Do you have any question? O, kung wala nang tanong, let's proceed to step 6. Draw the lower production process stages, find its area and its dimension. So, yung length ng ating lower PPS, kapareho siya ng length ng modular fish pond na 20 centimeters. Yun namang width ng ating lower PPS ay kapareho ng length ng transition pond at ng length ng nursery pond, which is 7.3 centimeters. So, para makuha natin yung area ng lower PPS, multiply natin yung length and width. 20 centimeters times 7.3 centimeters. So, ang sagot, 146 square centimeters. So, gagamitin natin ito para makuha natin yung per unit ng lower PPS. So, the ratio of the lower PPS is 1:3:9 with a total of 13. So, i-divide natin yung ating area of lower PPS by 13. And the answer is 11.23 square centimeters. So, for the lower PPS, since ito ay one part of the area of the lower PPS, automatically, ang area niya ay 11.23 square centimeters. Kukunin naman natin ngayon yung length and width ng PPS1. The length of the lower PPS1 is equal to the width of the lower PPS, which is 7.3 kagaya kanina. And the width of the lower PPS1 is equal to the area divided by length. So, 11.23 square centimeters divided by 7.3 centimeters equals 1.54 centimeters. Ito ngayon, yung width ng ating lower PPS1. Paano naman natin ito i-layout? So, eto kanina yung upper PPS. Dito, sa ibaba ng kanal, yung lower PPS. At ito yung lower PPS1 with a length of 7.3 centimeters and width of 1.54 centimeters. May tanong ba kayo? Dito naman tayo sa lower PPS2. Lower PPS2 is 3 parts of the total area of the lower PPS. So, kung ang per unit ay 11.23 square centimeters, multiply natin siya by 3. So, the answer is 33.69 square centimeters. Again, its length is 7.3 centimeters, which is just the same with the width of the lower PPS. So, let us compute for the width of the lower PPS2. Area divided by length. So, 33.69 square centimeters divided by 7.3 centimeters equals 4.62 centimeters. Itong 4.62 centimeters na ito, ang length or ang width ng ating lower PPS. Tingnan natin. Yan. Kanina, PPS1 natin, ang kasunod niya ay PPS2. Ang length ng ating PPS2, 7.3 centimeters. At ang nakuha nating width ay 4.62 centimeters for PPS2. I-compute naman natin ang lower PPS3. So, the lower PPS3 is 9 parts of the total area of the lower PPS. So, kung ang per unit ay 11.23 square centimeters, multiply it by 9. So, ang sagot ay 101.08 square centimeters. Then, the width of the lower PPS3 is equal to the width of the lower PPS, which is 7.3 centimeters. Gagamitin natin ito para makuha natin yung length ng lower PPS3. Area divided by width. So, 101.08 square centimeters divided by 7.3 centimeters equals 13.85 centimeters. Itong nakuha nating sagot na ito, ang length ng lower PPS. Tingnan natin sa layout. So, this is the PPS3. The width is 7.3 centimeters and the length is 13.85 centimeters. Naintindihan? Do you have any question? Okay. Kung wala na kayong mga katanungan, it's your turn now to do the computation and layouting of the modular pond system. So, this is the problem, the specifications that will serve as your guide during your computation and layouting. So, meron din tayong rubrics na magiging guide ninyo para maging tama yung inyong gagawin. Remember, in layouting, accuracy is very important. So, I will give you 15 minutes to finish this, then afterwards, we will check your output. Also, you can make use of the information sheet as your guide, and you can ask questions kung kinakailangan. Huwag mahihiyang magtanong. You can start now. Okay, time is up. You're going to check your own paper. Do the checking honestly. So, for our length, it should be 25 centimeters. And for the width, it is 20 centimeters. Remember that in layouting, accuracy is very important. For the water supply canal, the area should be 10 square centimeters and its width is 17.5 centimeters. The width of the canal should be 0.57 centimeters. Sa transition pond natin, ang ating length ay 9.71 centimeters. Dinivide siya sa 2 kasi dalawang compartments yung transition pond. So, naging dalawang 4.86 centimeters. Then, ang width ay 3.09 centimeters. For our nursery pond, so, the length is 9.71 centimeters divided by 3 kasi tatlong compartments ito. Kaya 3.24 centimeters each compartment. Then yung width niya ay 2.06 centimeters. So can you still follow? So we are through with the transition pond and the nursery pond. Then for upper PPS1, the length is 9.71 centimeters and the width is 2.84 centimeters. Next is PPS2. Upper PPS2, the length is 9.71 centimeters and the width is 5.67 centimeters. Can you still follow? Sabihin nyo kung mabilis, ha? So we are through with the transition pond and the nursery pond, the PPS1 and PPS2. Now for upper PPS3, the width is 9.71 centimeters and the length is 11.24 centimeters. So, kompleto na itong ating upper PPS. Do you have any question before we proceed to the lower PPS? Okay, if there's none, let's proceed. For PPS1, the width is 1.92 centimeters and the length is 9.71 centimeters. For PPS2, the length is 9.71 centimeters and the width is 5.77 centimeters. For the lower PPS3, the width is 9.71 centimeters and the length is 17.31 centimeters. So, kompleto na yung ating lower PPS. Is there any question or clarification? If none, thank you very much for your cooperation. I hope na may natutunan kayo sa lesson natin. I know that it is very time-consuming to do the computation manually and even using calculators. So, nagkamap ako sa idea na gumawa ng paraan gamit ang Microsoft Excel kung saan mapapadali ang pagko-compute ng area and dimensions of each compartment. I will send the link of the video lesson so you can watch it and learn during your free time. Make sure that you can finish watching it before our next meeting. Let's move on to your self-reflection checklist. So, base ito doon sa ginawa nyong computation and layouting. If nakapag-compute kayo ng tama doon sa mga areas and dimension of the compartments and accessory units of a modular fish pond, you can check this one. And if you can draw a layout plan of a modular fish pond system into scale, you can also check the second one. But, pwede rin naman na isa lang ang ma-check ninyo. For example, yung una lang ang kaya ninyo, so ito lang yung i-check nyo. So, ibabase ko yung next topic natin sa magiging resulta ng inyong self-reflection checklist. Okay? So, you can start reflecting. So, to sum it up, these are the steps in layouting a modular fish pond system. The first step is to draw a rectangle based on the given specifications. The second one is to compute for the area of compartments and accessory units. The third one is to find the size of each compartment and accessory units using the available data. And the last one is to write the needed measurement. Now let's check your understanding. So again, for those who have cell phones, you will answer the assessment using the Google Forms. Doon naman sa mga wala, I will give you the hard copy and then submit it after answering the assessment. That's all for today. Thank you and God bless.